Never believe anything you hear and only half of what you see. This is a quote from Edgar Allan Poe, the famous poet. We live in a world where a lot of things don't make sense. For example, I live in Seattle, and every week these massive merchant ships come into the port and drop off thousands of pounds of cargo that come from thousands of miles away, and I ask myself, how on earth does that thing float? It's incredible when you think about it. Another example is skyscrapers. How does this big, tall, massive structure stay up? How do they know it's going to stay up, and how do they know when to stop building it? How do they know what materials to put in? It's mind-boggling if you really think about it. Another example is electricity. This thing powers our homes, powers our cell phones, even powers some of our cars. And a lot of us don't know anything about it, don't know where it comes from, don't know where it ends. It's awesome. Now, I mention all of these things because on this week's episode of Weekend Wake Up, the very first episode of Weekend Wake Up, we're going to talk about some things that don't make sense initially, but if you take them to heart, apply them to your life, it can make your life a little bit better. Okay, today we're going to talk about the word paradox. Now, Webster's dictionary defines the word paradox as a statement that is seemingly contradictory or opposed to common sense and yet is perhaps true. Okay? A paradox is a statement that is seemingly contradictory or opposed to common sense and yet is perhaps true. Okay, remember that definition, all right? Okay, today we're going to talk about 5 paradoxes that affect you. Okay, paradox number 1. The more you try to keep someone close, the further away you'll push them. Let me explain. When I worked at an insurance company in Atlanta, I had a boss. His name was Cleve. And I used to always be around because I was like, okay, if I'm always hanging out, if I'm always, working next to him, he'll like me more. I'll get promoted, whatever. I'll be in his good graces from that way forward. Over time, I noticed that he was getting kind of annoyed with me. He would never say it, but I could just feel it when I was around him. So one day I was in my apartment, and I was like, I probably shouldn't do that. Just hang around him all the time like a lost puppy. And so I just decided, today, I think it was a Wednesday or something I went, and I was like, today I'm just going to leave him alone. I'm just going to fall back. And so I did. Next day goes by, I fall back again. Then at the end of the second day, he comes up to me. He's like, Marcus, where have you been, man? He was super happy to see me. I just learned, I didn't know this paradox at the time, but the more you try to keep someone close, the further away you'll push them, okay? Think about that as you're interacting with people, okay? Don't be needy. Just be happy by yourself. Paradox number 2, the more honest you are about your faults, the more people will think that you're perfect. Little kids do this a lot. You ever hang out with little kids and they'll be like, oh, I'm not good at this. I'm not strong enough. I can't do it. When they say that, it just makes you think to yourself, wow, his humility is refreshing. I like this person more. If you ever notice that someone be around, they're actually honest about, hey, I can't do everything. It makes you like them more. Be the type of person that's humble and admits when you don't know everything, okay? Just keep that in mind. Paradox number 3. The best way to meet someone romantically is not to need to be with someone else romantically, okay? Now, I know some of y'all watching this video, you're looking for a romantic partner, have one, or whatever the case may be. But one thing I see a lot is that people who want girlfriends, boyfriends, don't even enjoy being with themselves. Think about it. If you don't enjoy being with yourself, why would somebody else want to enjoy being with you, okay? You got to love yourself first before someone else is going to love you, okay? This is something that a lot of us struggle with, like, okay, I need this person to be happy. No, you don't. Can you be happy by yourself? Okay, just think about that and cerebrate on that for a second. Paradox number 4. The more you try to impress people, the less impressed they'll be. Okay, I think I did this before at a job interview, and I was bragging about how fantastic I am, why they should hire me, all this horrible stuff. And I was thinking to myself, why, if someone was really that great, they would not have to brag about how fantastic they are. So think about it. The more you try to impress people, the less impressed they'll be, okay? So quit talking about yourself, quit making your life about you, and think about, just be honest, okay? Because what you really are is going to shine forth without you ever having to say anything. If you were that great, you wouldn't have to say it. Think about it. If you were that fantastic, you wouldn't have to say it. You would just live it. You would just emanate from you, okay? Paradox number 5, the final paradox is to get more, give more, okay? To get more, give more. Okay, there's a verse in the Bible, Proverbs 11:24, that says, one gives freely, yet it gets richer, one withholds and comes to poverty. That literally makes no sense. One gives away money, gets richer, one keeps money and becomes poor, okay? A lot of things we don't make sense but still relate to us. So just think about it and, and just really think, is what this guy's saying is true, I'm telling you, these are paradoxes, okay? So it sounds like it wouldn't be true, but it actually is true. So in closing, back to the Edgar Allan Poe quote, never believe anything you hear and half of what you see. Our senses have a way of deluding us from the life that we want, okay? A lot of us walk around acting like we know everything, and We don't need any help, but yet secretly behind closed doors, we're miserable, okay? And remember, misery has a way of clarifying one's convictions, okay? I'm gonna say this again, this is important. Misery has a way of clarifying one's conviction. It tells you how you really think about your life, okay? I wanna help you to get out of that. And remember, usually if things are not working out the way you would like for them to, it's usually because there's some hard truth that you are avoiding, okay? Remember, this is really important. If your life is not working out the way you want it to right now, there's usually some hard truth that you are avoiding. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know everything, but if you think on what I'm saying, it makes sense, okay? I did this when I was 16 years old, playing basketball at a school in the Atlanta area. My coaches would be like, oh, Marcus, you should work on this, you should work on that. In my 16-year-old brain, I was like, you know what? They don't know what they're talking about. I'm not gonna listen. I didn't end up where I wanted to go. Just because I didn't listen. That's not the only reason why I didn't end up there, but one reason why I didn't listen, I wasn't humble enough to admit, hey, I've got to get better, okay? So let's all admit that we don't know everything, and let's be humble enough to learn from others and move forward, okay? Because like the great motivational speaker Zig Ziglar said, you're either going to pay the price for success or you're going to pay the price for failure, okay? Let's pay the price for success by being real with ourselves and understanding that this world we live in, there's a lot of things that do not make sense but relate to us. Think about the 5 paradoxes I just talked about, okay? There's a lot of stuff in this world that does not make sense. So we think we know it all. You do not know it all. I don't know it all. This is why we all need all the help we can get, okay? We all need all the help we can get in whatever form it can be, okay? So let's try to learn from other people and let's get better, all right? And live the life that we want to live. Okay, let's remember the 5 paradoxes again, okay? First one, the more you try to keep someone close, the further away you'll push them. Second one, the more honest you are about your faults, the more people will think you're perfect. Third one, the best way to meet someone romantically is not to need to be with someone else romantically. Fourth one, okay? To get more, give more. Fourth one, the more we try to impress people, the less impressed they'll be, okay? Now, I'll leave you on that note. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends and family. Let's continue to grow and get better, okay? And remember, unsuccessful people make decisions based on their current situations, and successful people make decisions based on where they want to be, okay? Make decisions based on where you want to be. You're closer than you think. Okay, bye.